All right, so we're at a triplex conversion project on the East Hamilton Mountain right now. This is an amazing area. You'll see the street. It's like super quiet, family friendly. I actually have a property here. I bought my first property here as well. Super quiet. There's trails nearby, that kind of stuff. But imagine, like, in that sort of an area, you're doing a 3 unit conversion. That's going to be cash flowing, and you're going to refinance at the end of it and pull out pretty much all your money. That's the type of deals you can find in Hamilton right now, especially with these new zoning bylaws where you can do some huge value add deals.
So these are the sort of projects you can do in Hamilton right now where you can pull out all of your money once you're done the project, and you can cash flow close to $1,000 thanks to the new and recent zoning bylaws in Hamilton. And this is amazing for investors, especially that are close to the GTA area. You don't have to go far from home. You don't have to drive 5 hours away. You can do stuff like this in great areas like this one, which is considered an A-class, family-friendly, quiet area. And you can get a ton of cash flow, and you can do full BRRRRs where you're buying, renovating, and refinancing your capital back out. So this is a client's property that is actively being converted into a triplex. So it was originally a single-family home sitting on the market for a while. We found it. The client had just finished up a similar project where they did the exact same thing. So we're just basically repeating the exact same process. They bought that property, they converted it into a 3-unit where they had a second floor unit, main floor unit, basement unit, and then they essentially pulled out all of their capital for their rentals, down payment, everything back out. We were looking for another one, and we just happened to see this one. I was watching this property for a while. It was sitting on the market for a couple of months. It was listed at $799 for a while. So we knew there was some pain there. I know the sellers wanted to get out. We built rapport with the agent, kind of understood their situation a little bit, and we were able to get about $65,000 off the asking price. Literally months later, there's comparables that pop up in the area that sold for $50K more than this that weren't as nicely done. There's some huge pros to this deal. Obviously, there's a 2-story structure where we have the second floor, main floor, all have basically separate entrances that are very easy to block off. And then we also have a side entrance going to the basement. Plus, there's a detached garage, which could be a 4th detached unit as well. So a project like this, like we're picking stuff like this up in the 700s. Once you're done the reno and you're doing your 3-unit conversion, you're looking at an after repair value based on actual comparables we have for sales in the area of 1.1 plus. So on a project like this, like we're going to go and speak with the contractor afterwards to get more details. He is on site. But we're looking at a rental cost of like about 150-ish thousand on this one. They save some money in some areas, but you know what? For 150, 200K, you're creating 2 units, and you're basically forcing the appreciation of the property, getting 2x what you're putting in terms of the rental. So if you're putting 200K on that 750, you're getting another 200K on top of that. And that's basically what the client did on their previous project. Now, this is the important thing right now with the current interest rate in the markets. You're essentially able to cash flow on these deals. You'll be getting rents in this area between $2,000 to $2,500 per unit. That means for 2 beds, you're looking at like $2,000, $2,100, up to $2,200. For 3 beds, you're going anywhere between $2,400, $2,500. And a property like this can have basically 2 to 3 beds on each floor. So that's a huge value because the most important thing is cash flow, right? If rates, for whatever reason, decide to do more rate hikes, you have some room there where, you know, you're not basically being squeezed. All right, so we're actually going to go meet the contractor since he's on site today, just doing some walkthrough. So he's going to show us around the property and tell us a little bit about what's going on. So. All right, so I'm here with Omar from HMA's Construction. He's done a couple of these projects with our joint clients. So this is another triplex conversion project that he's working on with our client right now. So he's going to tell us about what's going on here, what these guys are looking to do, what the place is going to look like. So Omar, can you tell me a little bit about, like, we're on the main floor right now. So obviously we're doing separate units on each floor. What's going on here? Like, what are you guys looking at doing?
Yeah, sure. So we're obviously on the main floor right now. We got the drawings right there. If you look over here, you'll see a big opening. So this was a closed wall before. Over here, we're going to be doing a 2-bedroom, 1 washroom, 1 kitchen, and 1 laundry. That's going to be on every unit.
Nice.
So if we come through to over here, this was the old entrance to the 2nd floor, which we've now sealed off with the framing. We're actually done the plumbing rough-ins already. So you're going to see the rough-ins for the HVAC, the gas, and the plumbing already done.
Nice.
This is where our sink is going to be, right? So this is our new kitchen. We have our gas line over there. As we come into here, this is bedroom 1, bedroom 2. We have carved out our laundry space in here. It's a little bit tight, but we got it to work. And in here, we had a powder room before, which is going to turn into a 3-piece. So I already have everything kind of marked out on the floor here. That's about it for this main unit.
Wow, so we're getting a full 2-bed unit here. So we'll have to walk around this thing to get to the second unit upstairs. But I guess you guys are doing, so are you still going with 2 beds per unit?
It's 2 beds per unit in all the units.
Nice. Okay. That's great because you're going to be getting about 2,200 per unit, maybe even more for something like this one, especially because I recall this one was a little bit bigger even.
So as you walk up, you're going to see the stairs being covered, the floor is covered, and you see it's a lot of selective deconstruction. So we tried to keep as much of the existing as we could, right, to pass on the savings to the client. This here, you can see the walls been taken out. So a lot of this room has been kept the same. The second floor actually already has a kitchen. So most of that is staying.
Yeah, this was one of the huge pluses. Like when I saw this property, it was listed. This kitchen was just like casually in one of the pictures, but there was no indication that it's from the actual, it's on the second floor and it's part of the property, but it's newly done from what I recall. And I guess what it looks like, you guys are able to pretty much salvage most of it.
Yeah, so we're going to salvage all of it. It was covered from day one. There's a little bit of rips because the guys checked the plumbing, they checked the HVAC, they made sure everything's good. We don't have any surprises when we're going to be hitting our inspection phase, right? Because it's already done. So we kind of just looked over that already. And right here in front of me is where we're creating the new laundry. So plumbing's already done. We already roughed in the exhaust to go out.
Yep.
So now we just kind of got our electrical. We got it scheduled for Thursday to Saturday. So at that point, we're going to be done all of our rough-ins.
Nice.
It took us approximately about 3 weeks from demo to all the rough-ins, which isn't that bad.
Okay.
So as long as you schedule accordingly, like within that amount of time, you're going to be at this phase, right? Which is next step. We have to do our inspections, right? So in here, we kept basically everything the same as well. This is the bedroom. This is bedroom 1, right? So we put the closet here, and then we have 2 linen closets, one on the outside and one in the living room over there.
Nice. Okay. And then this is, I recall this was, we needed to extend this bathroom, right? Because I remember this was just like, this was a half bath. So I think you guys pushed it out all the way from here to here, right?
Yeah, so we definitely extended this washroom before. If you can see with the floor that it was just about this big.
Yeah.
So it cut off right here. So we extended it about 4 feet to the right-hand side. We also framed in a walk-in closet over here. So it's just pushing back past the casing right here. So we can still put our casing. We can still put the drywall, make everything finish, walk-in closet. This is obviously going to be a 3-piece washroom, big stand-up shower. And obviously all the plumbing is done and everything else, as you can see.
Nice. Okay, let's go to the basement.
Yeah, let's go to the basement. Right now, obviously, all the wires are hanging because we have our rough-in for electrical scheduled in the next few days.
Okay, so
this here is going to be our main door. So we're going to be replacing this with a main entry door. So this is going to be your entrance to the second unit.
And you're probably going to have just stairs going down?
Yeah, so we're going to have some stairs going down depending on what the customer wants, a deck, something small, right?
Cool. Okay.
This is our walk-in closet.
Yeah. So just keep in mind, all these entrances, like we're walking through, they're going to be blocked off. You're not going to be able to go from one unit to another. You can't legally. Even this one, essentially, this is going to be just a wall. And then behind this is the second entrance for the basement.
And then everywhere where it separates from one unit to the other, it's going to be your, typical fire separation.
Okay.
So as we go down here, everything here has been demoed.
Nice.
Right? The existing wasn't really anything we could keep.
Yeah.
So where the guys just did the rough-in for the plumbing, so they had to dig a lot, right? As you can see, there's holes everywhere. So our bedroom is here, our washroom is here, second bedroom is here, and then our living, dining is right here, right? Kitchen is right behind you. It's over there, right? Alongside the furnace room. So
It's already got the on-demand water heater and stuff upgraded.
yeah, so we got the we got the tankless there, and we're gonna be removing the water main, which is right there at the moment. But that's where our stove is gonna go, because you see the gas line. So the thing is, what we did here, with a little bit of retrospect from there, which is the last project, the previous project that the client did that bought this house, is since we're gonna have the 3 meters, we added more gas lines, right? So to kind of take away the load, offload. Yeah, something we didn't do at there, right? So
Yeah, so that's basically they don't want to use as much electricity for everything. When you add gas, stoves and dryers, they take the highest amount of energy. So you can essentially take a load off that by turning it into gas.
yeah, so key point, right? When you're going from single to tri,
Yeah.
you want to try to offload, your easiest points. Even our tankless is gas. So I added 3 points, right? Tankless and 2 new stoves. So that hopefully will give us enough offset for our future 4th unit, which is going to be in the garage.
Yeah,
right?
we'll take a look at that as well. So generally, I guess from what I've seen too, the most amount of work happens here in the basement, because you got to do your servicing, your gas, electric, plumbing, most of it here, and then you got to possibly cut windows sometime, and then you got everything, as opposed to upstairs where we saw you salvage a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah, so we managed to salvage the windows, which is, a good saving, right? So we made the layout in a way where the windows are where they need to be for required. Other than that, yeah, so we're going to be doing the 1-inch upgrade water line, right? Which is going to come into here. So that is going to be major work here. Also, we're going to be taking the services from here to the back, right? In the near future.
Got it.
So that's
the
why.
garage. So essentially, if you prep like this, what they did is really smart, because if you finish all this up and let's say you want to build a garage unit later, you got to come tear everything out, dig, upgrade everything. So they're doing it in advance. So later on, whether it's a year or 5 years from now, they just got to access that plumbing and dig back to the garage, which is right there. That's the back of the house. And then they tie it in very quickly. Saves them thousands of dollars.
Yeah, essentially to get the drain in the back, we need to connect to the main, which is over here. And you kind of never know until you dig up the floor, because it's going to be somewhere in the middle, closer to the front, right? So we identified that. We got our rough in there already, so everything is good there. We're finished our rough-ins for everything else, kitchen, washroom. Everything looks good down here right now. Yeah. In terms of gas, I don't think we're upgrading anything. I think we're okay. And we're keeping the existing furnace, right? So some savings there for the client.
So yeah, we're gonna go head outside, because that's where that potential 4th unit is, and we're gonna take a look at that, because that's a huge value add. You can convert that thing and get another $2,200 out of it every month. So let's go outside. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so typically, we'll see that in this area too, where not every house, if you look around, not everyone has a detached garage, but when you do nowadays, it's a huge plus, because if it's legally established like this one, you don't have to do it right away, but you can convert it into a unit. And essentially, in a scenario like this, where you're already doing 3 units, because the city allows you to do 4, you can have either all 4 in the main house, or you can have the 4th one in the garage and then have 3 inside. So in this case, there's an existing garage. So Omar, tell me, is this something they're looking to do right now? And what does that kind of look like, doing the actual conversion, the logistics of that?
So we're going to keep the rough-ins in place. What we're looking at doing in the near future is we're looking at excavating from here. We're going to go there, make a 90, go to that corner of the garage, and we're going to tie into the rough-ins from here.
Okay.
So we've kept enough offload for the power to have 60 amp panel, right? So we made sure of that. It's going to be a studio unit, so it's not going to be too much going over there, right? And then we're going to bring in the drain. We're going to bring in the hot and cold. We're going to leave a shut off here until we get some heating going, right? Because we don't know if they're going to go past the winter or not. So we'll shut off the water. We'll bring in a stack. We'll have our panel here. We'll put everything in the corner. And then, yeah, if you want to come and take a look at how much space is in here. So I think they'll be good for, you tell me, what do you think about studio?
I've seen, honestly, there's condos this size that people will buy as pre-construction and they'll pay $400,000, right? So I know it sounds crazy, but that's like, I remember a couple years ago, I was looking at stuff in North York, and they were literally renting out these for like 1,800. Now, in Hamilton, the rents aren't as high as Toronto, but you could still get a solid chunk. And I've seen spaces like this be turned slightly bigger than this, be turned into one beds. And the way generally I've seen it is you'll just have your common area, like kitchen, dining, living, like in this big little rectangular area here. And then the back will just be a decent sized bedroom and then just a bathroom that's en suite. So it's not huge, but once it's finished, like, remember, these ceilings are high. They're better than a basement. So you can get a lot out of it. And like I said, these will rent out. Like, I've had clients rent these out for $2,100. They can go up to like $2,500, $3,000 if they're bigger, obviously, like if you have a second bedroom. But yeah, so Omar, I guess the important question too is like, what does the timeline look like on, let's say, like just doing the triplex? It's just 3-unit property like that.
Yeah, so real quick, I mentioned, it took us about 3 weeks to get to this point. This is kind of the most technical point where you want to get all your rough-ins correct, right? You want to get everything back frame ready for inspection. So this point, it's not too long. The whole project in itself can be done really quickly. Now, the main thing about that is that everything needs to be scheduled in advance and all the material selections need to be made. The main things that take long in projects is when something stops, there's a change order. Clients start shopping around for prices. We tell them our price. And, that's something that held us back on there when it came to the HVAC. That actually added almost a month onto the timeline, right? So right now we're 3 weeks in, everything goes smooth. For me to say something like, hey, we're going to be finished this project in 2 months, but we could be finished this project in 2 months.
Okay.
Right? Or this project can take 4 months.
So it's probably like 3 to 4 months generally?
I'll say generally it's about 3 to 4 months based on just like, human errors or material changes, any feedback from the building department in terms of like deficiencies or additions they want. So typically 3 to 4 months, but we could actually finish this project in 2 months.
Yeah, so see, that's huge because this is essentially taking you maybe like a month or two longer than doing a legal basement. You're getting a lot more out of it. Now, there's a lot of investors right now that either are going like really big, they want to get into the development space. Here's the thing. The ROI you're getting on something like this is actually better than a lot of larger developments, but obviously the numbers are smaller. But the real important thing is the timeline, because if you're doing these, if you knock them out in 3 to 4 months, you can do 3 of these, whereas one mid-sized development may take you 2.5 years. And your net on that is actually less. So this is the thing people really miss out on these. Like, I've run these numbers all day, so I've been noticing that. And this kind of just confirms that as well. But yeah, essentially, like, these are the things that you can do right now that you can get into in this market where you're still cash flowing, you're in great areas, you're attracting great tenants, and you're getting a really solid ROI, and it's tried and tested. Like, we're doing it, we have comparables. Omar worked on the previous one that just wrapped up a couple months ago. So this is just you can actually see like on the ground level, this is actually happening. So if you're not aware of this stuff, definitely reach out to us. You can reach out to me or Omar as well at HMH Construction. He's doing a lot of these conversion projects. I'm finding a ton of these for clients. I have 2 other ones actively where I have a client doing a duplex conversion and a 4-plex conversion in similar areas. So yeah, definitely reach out to us, get in contact with us, and we'd be happy to help you.